Yo, what is good, everyone? So today I'm going to show you how you can create your very own website without having to write a single line of code. So let me just show you the quick little design we're going to create today. It's super simple and easy to make, and then after that you can go crazy, do whatever you want to change up the design and make your own website. So here, this is just like a typical start a template that you can go ahead and change up later as you'd like. But you can see here, we just got our typical little menu, Navbar at the top. And then here, just like this is like our main section, or we like to call this the hero section. And essentially just have a button and then like an image here. And then we can scroll down here. And then this is just like a little image gallery design right there. You can delete these images, make them only like one or two, or you can add even more images to this, whatever you like to there. And then we have another section right there. And this is kind of like a little like startup slash agency style, but again, you could replace this image right here, which just happens to be like an illustration with like an actual photo, just like this, or even a photo of a person, whatever fits your design there. And then you can tweak this up too and change this up to however you like. And then here's like a simple little contact form. So if you want to go ahead and fill that out, if I click submit, it's going to give you a little notification that asks you to actually fill this out. And then you can go ahead and delete some of the stuff here, add email only, even the phone number, or just leave all those out. And then completely just have like email and submit button too. And then also we just have a basic footer. Now you can go ahead and copy this style too, or you can have like another column and have like 4 different footer options with like logos of social media. And then also you can delete this and have like a little shorter footer too, where you just have like just icons and like your social media links, whatever design you like to do. And then if we were to go here and I can inspect the page, and on Google Chrome, this cool feature where pretty much it shows you different options in terms of device sizes. So if people were on your website and they wanted to see, like for instance, this one called Moto G4, they'll see what this website looks like. But I feel like a lot of people have iPhones, so let me just show you, like, let's say the iPhone X for right now. This is what it currently looks like, and you can see everything is responsive, meaning that it stacks up on each other and it looks nice on your mobile phone, just in case people were to navigate to your site through there. And then also let me try to like zoom in, because it kind of might be a little hard to see it from that view, but you can see that everything looks nice here. And then we have a little footer down there, and then also the nav menu right here does a little drop down, and I just have a little background color here just to show and tell you like, hey, you clicked on this, and then you can go ahead and navigate to those items. So without further ado, let me show you how I created this website. So in order to get started, you're going to need to create a Webflow account. So I'll go ahead and put a link in my description. So you go ahead and click that link and it'll lead you to this website there. And just note that is my affiliate link. So if you do decide to make any purchases in the future, I will receive a small commission. But in order to get started, it is 100% free. And then if you were to end up getting hosting or any of the premium features, then that's when you would have to go ahead and upgrade. But you can go ahead and start designing your website for free right away. So it's awesome to go ahead and do that. And go ahead and click on the Get Started button right there. And then you can go ahead and sign in with your Google email, or just continue with the normal email here. And I already have an account, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign into my account and then see you on the other section. All right, so here I am on the dashboard. So if you're not already on this page, yours is most likely going to look a little different from mine, but pretty much just navigate over to this dashboard. And right now I just have a free plan account, and for the free plan right now, as I'm filming this video, you're allowed to have 2 projects. So right now I just have the one we just created, and now I'm just going to show you how I created that again, so you can go ahead and edit that to wherever you like. So simply you can just go here to the new project button, and then right now you can see that there are some pre-built templates that you can go ahead and play around with. But for now, let's just go ahead and go with a blank option, because I just want to show you how to navigate through Webflow, do some tricks and tips on it, and then from there you can go ahead and rechange it up or refactor it, like they say it in code, where you can pretty much change the design. So here I can just call this one Webflow Design 1. Name this whatever you'd like to, and then you can go ahead and create the project. So once that finishes loading, we can go ahead and start designing our website. So if you have no experience with code, some of the names of what Webflow describes the options might not make any sense, but it's still fairly easy to understand even if you have zero coding knowledge. And if you happen to do know how to code, then it's just even easier when it comes to actually building your website. But right now on the left panel, this is where we're gonna do most of our designing, where we can add in, for instance, like right here, we can add in different elements. So like if we just go ahead and click on the plus sign here, we can add like a little section, containers, grids, columns. And if you're still confused what these mean, don't worry. Once we start adding of our actual design, it'll make more sense. And then here we can add like a little button here. You can add like a list if you have something. You wanna add like a heading, a little paragraph text, etc. You got here. And then also if you have any images, videos, want to link to YouTube, there's even like animations. And then also we have like forms and additional things down here. So the first thing is, let's go ahead and actually just add in a navbar, essentially the menu, right away. That way you can just start to see how it works. And then from there we can go into more details. But right now, if you weren't following along, go ahead and click on this little plus sign here, and then just scroll all the way to the bottom under components. And they already have a pre-built navbar created for us. Now, if you were to make this from scratch with code, or just have to like try to make this just by dragging and dropping a bunch of things in between, it's going to be a really annoying process and will take too much time that you probably don't want to spend. So instead we can just go here and just drag this straight into the little white box right here. And essentially you can see that the body gets highlighted. And then we just let go, and bam, right away, we have essentially a default navbar. Now here, once you drag in some sort of element, you can see here on the right side, we have this little like paintbrush. They have it named style. And essentially this is where we can actually go ahead and start designing and editing the look of this. So here is essentially ways to design, or I guess you could say display the visual design of your website. So like there's things in code called like flexbox and grid, and I'll go into more detail once we start utilizing that. So right now I don't want to confuse you with the definition of that, but just those things, just know that those are just ways you can actually stack things on top and display certain things, whether it's in a column up and down or like a row like side to side. So for the navbar, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's really nothing we need to add besides just change up the color and maybe add a couple more links here, and then additionally add a logo. So like right now on the styles, we can go over to scroll down and we have the spacing. And then once we get that, we have the sizing, and then positioning, typography. And this is if you want to change the text of your actual nav links. So for instance, if I want to change this to like a super bold thing, you can see that it changes here. So like I like Montserrat's pretty nice. Open Sans, Lado. I'll just go with Open Sans for this. Feel free to change whatever you want to. Font weight, this determines how essentially thin your text is or how thick you want it to be. So you want it to be extra bold. That's where it will look like this. I'm gonna keep it default at the 400. Sizing, how big do you want your font to be? If I hit space, it's like that. But I think 16 pixels is a pretty good measure. And then you can go lower if you'd like to at the 14 pixels with what Webflow had originally. Height, this is essentially line height. So right now it's pretty set. But if you ended up deciding to have like a paragraph, you'll see that actually in use. And then here's the color. So if you did not like the color of this text, you can change it up here to like whatever you want to. And right now, this one is actually targeting the entire navbar. So nothing's actually being change. But if I wanted to change like the individual link, I would have to click on the nav link, and then let me see if it actually updates here. So now it does it like this. So right now in the actual navbar, the color really doesn't do anything, so we can just pretty much like keep it there. And then under here, this is like alignments. So these particular options don't really apply right now for this example because I'm just targeting the entire navbar. And in case you misclicked or something happened, go right on the left column over here and click on this little 3 lines and call it navigator, or you can press Z on your keyboard. And right now I'm clicked on the navbar. So there's a container, which is essentially like a box inside of this. And then there's a little link for the brand, which would be essentially the logo you have for your website. And then here is another box, which they call nav menu. And if you go over to the right, notice how when I hover over it, it highlights the box, or essentially it's like a rectangle if you want to say it. And inside this box contains 3 menu or nav links, which is essentially your different pages on your website. And then there's a menu button here. Now we're not utilizing this right now, but you can have that there. So right now I'm on the nav bar, so just make sure you are actually clicked on it. And then you can click the drop down arrow just to see the additional options below it. So I'm gonna press Z again to close that out. And right now what I'm trying to do is make sure I'm highlight the nav bar. I wanna change on backgrounds. So for this background, let's just erase this hex code and let's just do 131313. Make sure you have the hashtag in front of it, and then when you press enter, it should turn essentially like a darkish, pretty much almost black, but not all the way black. And then pretty much from here, we can go and we can click on our nav link individually. Now here, nav links, right on this little selection right here, there's things where we can add essentially like class names. So if you're not familiar with the class, think of it as like an identity you can put on something. So for instance, if you had like a bunch of different colored markers, essentially the class on each marker would be the color that is describing it. So if you had a red marker, you would essentially can just put the class name of red. So any other marker that's red, you can identify by its class, which is called red. So for the nav link, this is essentially, they all have the class nav link. Essentially, not yet, but the one we want to do is create essentially the class here. So they have the name nav link, but they don't have the class. So right now it's red. So if I go here and change this to white, which you can just drag up here, or you can change the hex code to FFF, it's essentially now right here, this is white, and then we have this little class called nav link. So now if I click on the next nav link, instead of me just having to go here and change the color manually, I can just go to this plus sign, or I can just search up nav link, and then I click it, and I see right now we have existing class, nav link, and it applies that class's value, which was the color white, onto this nav link here. And then the same for this one. If I want to go ahead and add another class, I can just go here, click on nav link, and it automatically changes the color here. Now, if you were want to change that again, I mean, you just go here and individually overwrite it. But you can see as long as you have this class applied to it, it's going to change anything else that has also the class here. So essentially, think of this as like the identity, the label of it. Anything you change with the same label, it would go. And then you can add additional classes and get crazy with this, but for now, I'm just keep it fairly simple. And then if you want to add another nav link, we can just go here, and then I can do Command C, and let's just do Command V there. And we basically just copied and pasted the link. So again, that was Command C to copy, and then Command Victory V to paste it. Now here we can just double click on this, and right now it looks like, let me just Command Z because it looks like I clicked too fast. Here, and then let me try to click on it again. And then now once we have the little text highlighted, we can just go straight up and just change this to whatever you want to. So I'll just put services, and then pretty much close it and click off of it, and then bam, there we are right there. Now in terms of this right here, so in typical, when I'm coding up websites from scratch, I'll just straight up get like a image, or not even an image, I get like a little like text, and then just wrap this with a like a link. But for this one right now, if I go to here and I want to just try to like drag in, let's see where I can find the nav, actually a link. So like right now this is a link block, but I'm trying to find the text link right here. So like text link, and it says link cannot be placed in a brand. So right now Webflow doesn't like that. So ideally you would have a image. So if you don't have an image, I can show you how you can create one in like 5 seconds, or you can just download any pretty much logo or like placeholder image and just put it here. But let me just show you really quick how you can make a quick one, just in case you ended up needing a logo for your website in the first place. So here I just pulled up this website called figma.com. If you've heard of it, then you already know how it works. But essentially, this is kind of like a Photoshop and like Adobe type design tool, but that it's built in on the browser, so you can pretty much just sign in with an account, and then you're right away on your browser. You can just go ahead and start creating content. So like I want to go here and just like draw a rectangle. I have a rectangle right there, and then do whatever you want to. Now, I already created this logo up here, which is literally I just created a rectangle. So if you have Figma, you can go ahead and open it up and follow along, or you can just sit back for like the next minute and just watch me show you how to do it, and then you can go ahead and do this after. But basically what I did was I just created a rectangle, and I changed the width from 250, and I put the height to 60. And then I just pressed the T on the keyboard to write text, and then I just typed in my logo. So you just say like logo here. Whatever your logo is, you can see I just call this like WebX. And then pretty much you can change the font size right there on the right side to like something that fits. And then you can center it like this. And then pretty much here you can click on the logo, whatever you made, and then hold shift and click the rectangle and do Command G to group it together into one group. And ignore the rest of this stuff because I have additional designs on this exact design file. So you wouldn't have any of these here. So just ignore the rest of this. But then what you could do is you could click on the group, click on the rectangle, and then you can make the background transparent. And then now you have like a fixed width and height. And then you can go down here to export right here. And you'd want to do SVG just because it keeps the quality of it. And if it were to resize or the screens were to get bigger, it essentially maintains the quality. If you had like if you had an image that's exactly 250 by 60 and then you were to stretch it up bigger, it would get really blurry and just look terrible. But with SVGs, it essentially keeps its ratio. So think of it like vectors. And then you just go and export it. Now you can name this whatever you want to. But right now, it failed because I need to click on the actual group, the actual entire group here. And then I click export here. And then I just go ahead and go to SVG and then export there. And then it will export. And then you basically just open this up. And then I'll show you how you can actually import this into your Webflow. So again, I have this one here. So I can just go ahead and export this. And I already have it downloaded. But go back to Webflow now. And in case you're just chilling, watching, that's fine. And the thing is, you can go here to this brand. Click back on the brand here. And then we can go ahead and go into the plus sign. And instead of having the brand there, we can just drag an image instead. So let me just drag the image there. And then you can go ahead and just choose an image. So if I choose image here, it's going to bring up this assets folder, which you can also navigate down to this little icon here to bring it up. And let me go ahead and just drag over my logo I just created. I can just drag it into this and see if it shows up. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's see, maybe it's because of this thing on the back. So let me click this off really quick. And it looks like it's not working. So what you can also do is click on this little button here and then just upload the file through there. So I just went ahead and searched for it. I just click here and then upload it. And now you can see we have it like this. So now I pretty much just imported this image here. And then we can check back on a little navbar. And then this is what it looks like here. Now technically, if we go to this, you can go ahead and change the sizing of this. So if like you don't like the size of this, you can like literally just drag the corner of it and just shrink it. So I'll keep it like this. And then in terms of the top and bottom, like if you don't like the way it looks, you can literally just go here to the padding. And if you're not familiar with padding, it's essentially the inside space. So like here we can just go, and I can just hold shift and just straight up just go. Let's see if like maybe I should do 20 by 20. And you can see now my thing looks nice and centered. Now there's a bunch of different ways you can do this where you imported a logo and center and mess around with it, but for now this is the easiest way. So you can feel free to just start it off like this and then do your own twist to it later. And if you don't have a logo, you can just skip this out for now and then create one later. It's not a big deal. And then also if you have a bigger logo or design, then you'd obviously have to adjust your spacing and the size of your navbar based off your website. But for now, this is pretty much the basics of this. Now, in order to mess around with the links, right? So we click on one of these nav links. You can click on this little gear little setting right there. And then here's where you can go ahead and actually input the URL to where your link is. So here you can open up a new tab, or you can navigate to another page on your website. So depending on if you have your domain already and everything, then you can input it there. And then there's additional pages here, like choose a page, and then you can switch to there, and then additional options here. But this is stuff that I guess you could say is more advanced, and we can talk about in a future video. But for now, let's just do the basics for now. And then we can actually go here, and you see here on this open menu, so like make sure we have the navbar selected, and then you can click on open menu, and now you can see essentially what the mobile menu looks like. So like if I go here and go to like essentially you can go like this, and right now notice how the you can't see it, but like the menu button, the icon is currently essentially dark or black. You can't see it. So we can go here and actually go back to the paintbrush, scroll down, and let's just change this to like white. And then you can now see this. So now if we go back and just click on our navbar, go to like any, and notice, by the way, what are these when I'm clicking on? This is essentially the desktop view. This is a tablet, so think like iPads. This is essentially mobile landscape. And then this is like a typical mobile vertical view. And if you have a bigger desktop screen, you can click on this and add larger breakpoints. And like these we call media queries in coding. But essentially, it's just when a different screen size, once you hit that size, something else is supposed to happen. So like for instance, here's desktop. The minute you shrink the page to this 991 or lower, which is essentially the same size as a tablet, it would adjust accordingly. So you notice how the menu became a mobile icon. And then vice versa, you can go here for mobile. So for now, let's just click on the tablet right here. And we can go and just go to the little gear icon. Click open menu so we can see what the menu looks like on mobile. And then we can just click on the nav menu here. Click on the little paintbrush again. And then we can just change the color of the background. So what's cool too is if we click here, notice how we don't have any colors and we have to manually type it in. So what we could actually do is click back on the main nav bar, go to our color here, click the plus sign. You can call this just like, I don't know, main back or main, I can just call this main color, or you can just call it primary, whatever you like to name it. I'll just do this for this tutorial. And now if I click back on the little drop down menu right here, I can go back to the gear, actually my bad, get back to the paintbrush, scroll down, click on this color, and I can just click it right there because it's already saved. So if you have a bunch of colors, you can save like a ton of them, and that way you don't have to sit there and go back and forth. Now here for this little box, there's complicated ways where you can add like a little X and like little animations, but for this example, what I want to do is just make it like a slide, let's see, like a, see if you can actually see. So right now, is it, I click on the right one? Yeah, it looks like the background. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so now I clicked it, and you can change this to whatever color you want to. So if you want to make this like a lightish blue, or like a dark blue, I'm just doing this for like emphasis. This is just over exaggerating it. You don't even have to change this. You can keep it the same color, but I'm just doing this so that whenever you actually publish and see the website, it's actually telling you like, hey, click. But ideally on your own design, you'd have this like camouflage where it's just the same color. But pretty much now, if I go back to the little gear icon, let me click back on navbar, go to the little gear icon, and just click it to close it up. And then we can go to publish. And then we can, right now we have this like a typical filler URL. Just click publish to select domains. And nothing really happens besides now you can actually just click on this little arrow or navigate to that link. And now you can see that our website is right here. And then if I inspect the page, and we go to like our little thing, you can see that the actual, see how the background changes. So it looks like actually, let's see. Yeah, so right now, let's go back to the paintbrush, click on the menu button background. Let's keep this background as main here. And then let's go back to the nav bar. Let's go to the gear icon, click open menu, and let's change it here. So it looks like I had it, the coloring on the non-open, so I want to go back to background here and change that to like the blue, whatever color you want to do, it doesn't matter. And then we can go ahead and go to publish now. And once that finishes up, then I can just go here. Let me toggle the menu back closed. And now we can go here and refresh. And now you can see that's the same color. And then when you open it, it tells us that it's open. So that's the navbar. Nothing too crazy, pretty basic. So now let's go ahead and create the hero section. So next, let me go back to the desktop view. I'm gonna click on this plus sign here, and then I'm gonna drag in this section tab. Now, if you wanna learn more, they have little questions you can go ahead and click on. But I'll leave that out because they have a full like Webflow University course that goes in much more detail what like the details of everything is. So feel free to check that out. But here, we can just drag this right under the body tag, and then it's right here. And also if you click the 3 lines again or press Z on your keyboard, and we close a little navbar area, now we can see it's right underneath. So make sure it's underneath and not inside, because it most likely give you an error. But here what we can do is we can actually go ahead and straight up drag in another section, which is called a container. So what I'm gonna do is click this plus sign and just drag this container inside this section. So now as you can see, we have like this nice little spacing on both sides, and also it keeps everything just nice, and this allows us for more room for customizing our content. And then inside of this container, I want to create a little grid where it's essentially 2 columns side by side. So what I mean here, if I click on this grid, I'm gonna drag it inside the container. So now if I go back to our little navigation, we have section, container, then grid. So now if you've never seen grid before, let me explain it really quick. So essentially, this by default has 2 columns. So you can see column 1 is up down like this, column 2 is up down like this. And then we have 2 rows. So we have 1 row right here and then 1 row right here. So essentially it spans the entire section or the container. So right now what I only want 1 row but 2 columns. So here on the right side, we have these 2 rows here. I'm gonna go ahead and click the little trash can to delete it. So now it's only 1 row now. And now we have these 2 columns where I want to put in my content. So on this left column, I'm going to put in my text. And on this right column, I'm going to put in my little image illustration SVG. So right now, we can go ahead and just click done at the bottom. And then what I can do is actually get a little div block. So let me click on this plus sign again. Let me drag in a little div block here, because I want to put my content inside of here. So now I can get the plus sign one more time, scroll down, and we have this typography. So this is all of our text. So we can go and just drag in our heading inside of this div block here. And then, or this, let's just go ahead and start editing it. I'm gonna say like next generation advertising, can't spell. And then we're gonna go back to the plus sign again. Under here, I wanna drag in a paragraph. And then pretty much under this H1, and you can see on the right side it's highlighted. I just let go, and then bam, we have this right here. So now I can just double click here and then pretty much be like, I don't know, just type in some random thing. The greatest ad platform since sliced bread. And then we can just go here again to the plus sign. And now under basic, we have this button. We can drag that right underneath a little paragraph. So make sure you have it underneath the paragraph. Now, if you ever mess up, let's say you messed up, you did it like this. Right now, that's not good. Because if you go back to the link, you notice that it's just not inside of the section. It's just chilling by itself. So you want to go back and then drag it into the div block and then underneath the div block. So when you click the down arrow up, you gotta make sure you're in it like that. And then we can go ahead and we can mess around with this, but let's go ahead first and get our image. So let me show you, this is essentially, it's an SVG, or you can download it as an image, whatever you float your boat. But let me go show you the site I got these from. So the website's called Undraw. So you pretty much can navigate to this site, undraw.co, and then it'll just go right here, you just hit return, and then you can click on browse now. And essentially this is a website that allows you to access a bunch of illustrations for free. And you can go ahead and switch the color of the illustration so whatever you want to. So the hex code that I'm using is, I'll just paste it in here, 305-9FF. So it's kind of like a purplish, yeah, like darkish purplish depending on your screen design. And then what we could go ahead and you can go crazy and do whatever image you want to, or we can actually go ahead and just do what I did. Let's just type in here like, let's see, let's just type data. Let's see what pops up. And there's a bunch of different images here. I'm trying to remember exactly what the image that I downloaded was called. And that way you can actually go ahead and find it. So it looks like this one. So let me try, let's see, let's do dashboard. See if that one shows. Yeah, so it's not showing the dashboard. So let me see if I can look this up really quick. Yeah, so let's see if I type this more in tabs. See if that pops up. Yeah, so here we go. We have tabs right here. So this is, if you want to use the exact same image I use, go ahead and get tabs. Click download SVG for your products. And then just do exactly the same thing where we can do is, actually let's do this. Go into the plus sign here. And let's scroll down to the image from media and just drag it into the right side of the grid. And then we can actually go and let's go to the little assets link here and we can upload this. So let me just go ahead and click on this and I'll just look up my SVG and then I'll upload this really quick. So here mine is just called undraw_tabs. You can rename this, but I'm just click open here. And then pretty much I can just go choose image. And it's essentially, you just click this image here and essentially we'll have it in there. Or let me just click it right, let me go back to our assets here. And let's just see if I can just drag it in like that as well. So if you did the drag in part, you're gonna wanna go to your image and actually delete it because it's essentially already dragged in. So if you don't wanna go the manual way, just straight up drag it in and then go back to your little assets or navigator here and just make sure the image is there. Because if you added it manually like I showed it in the beginning, you're gonna have like this random image that shouldn't be there. So if you have like a random one that's outside of your section container, just go ahead and click it and then just delete it or backspace on your keyboard and it gets rid of it. So here, what we can do now is, let's go ahead and click on the actual container, because the container right now, actually my bad, not the container, the grid. So let's see, we got container, then we got grid. So I'm clicked on the grid. And let me exit off here. I want to set a padding on the top and the bottom. So you can do is hold Alt and then just drag your keyboard. So like here we can go, let's do 100 padding on top and bottom. And now it looks like this. And then we can actually change the background. So we can go to the section again. We can scroll all the way down to background. It's currently transparent, but we have the save color here, main color. So we can just color like this. And then we have the text. So let's go to the text. Let's change the first one. So let's see, where's my color right here under typography. Click on this one. Switch it up like this. And then in terms of the size, let's try to change this to 64. See how that looks. So now you can see where the height comes in. So essentially you want it to match it or be slightly bigger. So you could do like 70. Looks a little better. I'll just keep it maybe like 68. And then for the little paragraph here, same thing, change the color to whites or whatever design you're trying to complete. And then for this, we can do, let's try 20. Let's try 24. And then let's change the height to 26. And actually, yeah, let's do 28. Yeah, looks fine here. And then for the button, first off, let's click on the button text and let's try to double click it, get the highlight so we can edit this. We're gonna say get started. And then let's click back on the button. We can go here to the color and we can change this back to the color that we used for the same little SVG illustration, which mine was 305.9FF. So press enter, it changes it like a little purplish. And then under there we got border. So if you want to add a little curving on the corners, you can change the radius to like 4 pixels, 5 pixels, 10, etc. I think 4 is pretty solid for my design. And then in terms of the, let's go back up. If you want to alter essentially the way this looks, you can change the padding to make it even bigger. So let's see, let's press Alt and then let's just drag to the right. Let's just do like 24 on each side. I think that looks pretty good. And then now if you notice like, hey, it's a little close, I don't really like the way it looks. what you can do is we can click on this text, and then we can go ahead and what's right here on the, right now you have the margin. So we can do margin, and that's the outside, and we can just drag this down. So let's do like, let's see, 24 maybe. And then here we can do the same on the paragraph. Just go over to the right under spacing. This is the margin. And then we can do like 24 as well here. And then you get, again, you can go do whatever design you like, but this is just what I have so far. And then also we can pretty much test this out too. So right now, if we click on tablet, this is what it currently looks like. Click on the little landscape, it looks like this. And that's a problem, because if you click on the mobile again, notice how everything gets messed up. So the way we can actually fix this is we essentially, or at least the design I'm trying to replicate, is this little box right here, which essentially this div box stacks on top of this image right here. Now ideally, what we can do is we can go click on this little icon right here, edit grid. And right now you notice it's 2 columns. So if I go ahead and click on this row and just add another row, but then I go to this column and delete one of the columns, it automatically just fills in the missing spot. So automatically like that for you, just because we're using Webflow. If you were to do this with normal code, you'd have to actually go ahead and like manually add in the different columns and then test it out. But now we can just pretty much go here, click on done, and done, voila, just like that. And then we click on mobile, it looks like this. So notice right now, there's still the issue is like it's like touching the side, which I don't really like. So what we can do is go back to the desktop view, the one with the star. We can click on, go back to our little thing and click on the container. And we can actually go ahead and add some padding on the sides. So like, let's hold Alt, and let's just do like 20, let's do 24. And then we'll click off, and then now if we click on our desk or our tablet, and then we click on like the little landscape, you can see we have this nice spacing now. So it doesn't look like it's weird touching the sides. And then on mobile, all you can do is just click on this font, and then we can just change the font to something smaller. Let's do like 50. And now you can see that everything fits nice and snug. And then we're pretty much responsive for this section here. So what we can do now is go to publish, post selected domain, and then we can pretty much go back to our domain, and let me refresh the page. And then you can see we just have this created. And then if I inspect it again, we can see on our mobile menu, it looks like this. On like Moto G4, it looks like that. We got like, let's see, iPads, looks like this. Again, the mobile drop down, and then we can do it iPad Pro. And you can see it looks nice and clean. So now, let's go ahead and let's just start creating the next section. Now this is the crazy part with Webflow. So they have a lot of templates. There's a lot of other premium ones, but they have a default set of essentially pre-built designs that you can just go ahead and just drag into your website, and you don't have to waste hours messing around with designing it. So let me just close this really quick. So what we can actually do is go and click on this plus sign here, and then if you go here to layouts, you'll see there's already like pre-default things here. Like we even have a hero section, but I wanted to show you the way I did mine from scratch, just so you can go ahead and actually like create yours. And ideally, what we can do is click on this plus sign here, go back to layouts. We can go and just drag in, for instance, the gallery. So let's click on this gallery, and then let me just drag it right below in this white space here. And now you see we have this nice looking gallery here. So I can just click, I'm gonna delete this paragraph, so just delete it here. And click too fast and messed up. So let me do that again. I just accidentally clicked too fast and it messed up the whole thing. So let me re-drag it again. Just click on the paragraph. Here on the text. And I don't know why, sometimes Webflow, it's like hard to like click on the text for some reason. So hopefully they improve that, but let's just go and see, view our office. If you had like a photography or like a portfolio website, you could be like, view my work, view my photography, video, etc. And then here, we can pretty much just upload images. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go to show you the site where I got my images, but ideally since you're making your own site, you'd probably want to have your own images. If you don't have any images, then don't worry about this section. Just see how I did it in case you need this in the future. But let me go to this site really quick and show you. So here's one site called Pexels. There's additional sites like Unsplash, Pixabay, but pretty much you can type in like whatever you want to. So I'll just type in like office. And I just pretty much, you can change the orientation, you know, horizontal, vertical. I picked square since a lot of these images are square. And then you can pretty much go have fun with this. Click on any of these images, for instance, like let's see, like right here, and just go to free download. And ideally, you'd want to have a smaller file. Most computers, you'll be fine with like small, unless you need like a full width, like entire background. Then you might want to be bigger. But just note, the bigger your image, the slower your site will be, unless you will find a way to optimize it. But you can just go to like medium, free download. And then again, it just downloads like typical on your computer. And then all you need to do is just go to your assets folder here and just drag them in. So I already have the images downloaded from my file. So let me just go ahead and upload those really quick. So I just went ahead and uploaded my images. So again, feel free to download whichever one you want to. And then we can pretty much just click on this image here. And I can just scroll to the image and gradient. Actually, my bad, this is the wrong one. You click on the actual gear icon here. And then you can go to choose image. And then you can just pick one. So like, let's see, let's do this one. Click on this gallery image here. Choose image here. Let's see, just like this. And then here again, we can just pick random pretty quickly. You can see how fast it is. If you do this manually by code, it just takes so much longer and there's so much extra stuff you have to do. But let's see, which one am I listing out? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, perfect. So now, since this is a pre-built little design template that Webflow had, the best part about this is if I just click on like tablet and then mobile, it auto optimizes for responsiveness so that you don't have to go in there manually and add like little different grids and then have to be annoyed by that. And then if you did want to edit it, again, you could do the same thing with the grid system where you pretty much decide how many columns you want and rows. But again, that's determined if you even need this section. If not, then I don't want to spend too much time like going over the little details if you're never actually going to utilize like a photo grid. But just note that if you were to customize this, you can definitely go crazy with that. And here's the cool part. So we've already created this like little section here. So like imagine you had like another website where you had like a picture, like an app or something on the right side, and you want to have like a testimonial or like greatest app ever, whatever you want to put here. Instead of you having to go in here and like do this thing from scratch where you click drag, we can just go here. And let me just close the gallery out and then the section here. And then also we can rename these. So like let me click on this hero. And I'm gonna call this one the hero section. Hit enter. Gallery is fine. What we could do here, we can do Command C and then Command V to copy and paste this. And I can just drag this under here, under gallery. So now we can change this to like, you just put like info section. You feel free to name this whatever you want to. I just didn't want to name it the same as, well actually it looks like, let's just call this here, let's just call this section actually. Or let me do, let me just do hero here. And then we can just actually remove the class here and then just call this technically we could call this another thing, but since to save time I'm just gonna keep it, let's just keep it as hero. Actually, let's rename this as a section, because ideally hero is just the main one, but I don't want to go too detailed because ideally you wouldn't want to have it the same properties, because if you wanted to make this like a red background, then you'd have to apply your own class. But let's just, for example purposes, let's just keep it simple. And all I want to do here is just switch this image to the right side. So all I need to do is literally just drag, click the image, and just drag over. And bam, it's that easy. And then all I have to do now is just click on this text and just do Command A, put like target, specific, audience, let me see, audiences. And actually I should have been on the main, my bad, on the main desktop. And then here we can just be like, increase your conversion rates. And then here you can change this image out. So let's see, do I have, yeah, I didn't actually upload another image. Let me go ahead and just do that really quick. So I think I had it. Let's see, where did I put my image? Yeah, so I have this one here. See if I can drag it, see if it does it. So it doesn't look like drag is working right now. So let me just upload this. So I just uploaded it really quickly, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll just click on this image here. I'll click on that one and it basically replaces it. And then look at how easy that was. So literally we have like essentially two sections of a website. And all I did was just copy and paste this section. And then we can go to like tablet. And then here we can change this sizing because this is just kind of big. So we can do like 60, let's do 50 here. And then I'll actually let's do 54. There. And then also we can go to mobile view landscape. And notice how the original design, I had this image on top, on the bottom. So what we can do is this on the, you navigate over and like select the image, for instance, you can switch this order right here to last. And then when you click on the mobile phone, you'll notice that it's on the bottom now. So now if you click on the actual desktop, it starts like this, and then tablets like this, and then mobile goes like that. So now you can see that working fine. And then last but not least, we just need to create the footer and then the contact form, and then we're pretty much set to go. So let's actually go here and publish this really quick. We publish this, and then let's refresh and see our website is already there. So now let's go here to the plus sign again, go to layouts again, and then we have contact form. So Webflow already has a contact form set up for us. And sometimes it's difficult to like add a section. So I don't know if this is just like a glitch on my computer, but right now it seems like it's almost impossible right now for me to do this. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see if I can try to drag a layout contact form into the navigator, and I'm just gonna go under this section here. So now you can see we have a nice section this. So I can just go, let's delete this, and we can just be like, read love, or no, love to hear from you. And I'll just keep everything like default. But cool trick too is if we go to like our button here, notice how we say it as the class button. We can go to this button right here and just hit select class, just click on button like that, and bam, perfect is done just for you. And if you want to change like the design, you can go here and like go scroll down to like the there's like backgrounds, change this to like red. You do whatever you want to, but I like this. This is pretty simple tutorial, so we just keep it like this. And then for the footer, we'd actually go, they already have a footer default for us, so if you wanted to, we just straight up copy that in. I did make mine from scratch, but like let me just show you. Let's see if I can just drag it. Oh, let's see, hold on, let me close these out really quick. Let me just go to the footer, go like this, just drag it like that, and then let me drag it, make sure it's underneath. And then you can see here, it's just like this. So actually I like the way theirs looks much better than mine. But if you did want to create the one I did, let me just delete this really quick. And then we can just go here like a plus sign, add another section. Let me add it like in between and then just drag it, because I don't know why Webflow is making it hard for me to. So drag it on the bottom, the last one. And then here for the section, we can change the background to the main color. And then we can drag in a, let's see, we can drag in a container. So let me bring this up really quick. I'll click on the plus sign here, got the container, and yeah, my Wi-Fi was going crazy. Here we go, got the container inside, and then I'll put essentially div blocks. So this is how I did this, where you put essential div blocks. I put 3 inside of my container. So like if I go here, container, I have 1 div block. I can do Command C, Command V, and then Command C, Command V again. So now I have 3. Let me click on the plus sign. And let me make sure these are all located inside of my container, just like this. And then inside this div block, you can have a text block and then a text link. So here, we can go here. And then we scroll down to typography with the text block. And then inside of that, underneath it, will have the text link, which is underneath that. So now if you check, so right now you can't see. So let me go back to the section, change the main color background to white so you can see what's going on. You essentially have this here. So we can change this div block to like, you know, whatever you want to call your thing. And then also for the container. So let's go back to our little navigator. Let's click on container. So let me actually change section to a footer so you can see actually what it says. Why did it change? Oh wait, hold on. It should be footer. Footer. Does it already exist? Do I have it already here? Where's it at? Shouldn't be. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it looks like it says it's existing, but I don't see it. Either way, it doesn't matter. For now, go to your container, and then, oh, what happened? Click on container again, here, and then let's change this to grid here. So you see when I click those little boxes? And then let's do 3 columns, so I'll just duplicate 3, and let's do 1 row here. And I'll just do done, and then we click off here. And I'm not sure why it's here, let's do this, because it looks like I need essentially the link to scroll on the bottom, and then I can do text blocks here, and I can just copy paste it like this. So in this div block now, let's do let's see, let's do center here. And let's do a line. Actually, no, hold on. Let me see if, because I put essentially like a flex on this. Oh yeah, it should be vertical. So click on your div block. And this shouldn't be a grid. It should be flex box. So why is it, where's the original? So you want to go back to the original. And actually, yeah, I didn't do grid, my bad. I did flex box, that's what I was doing. Okay, so flex box here. Except we do vertical, and then we can hit align it, everything's centered, and then we can just justify like this. Okay, so there we go. So now we have this main div block here. So let me just delete these two, and then we can just copy and paste. Oh, that's why these links are located outside of the div block. So let me drag them back in really quick, and then just go back on top. So now everything's inside of the box. So now it should have, I'm not sure why it's not vertical. Okay, there we go, yeah. And then center, all right, there we go. So then I just basically just copied, pasted 3 times. So now we have 3 of these, and then we can go back to our container. Let's click on flex box. Let's click on horizontal now, and then let's click on align stretch. So let's see, let's just add some spacing here. So let me go to our div blocks. So again, let me try to go here, and then let's do shift, let's do 16. And let me see if I can figure out why is it not, oh yeah, I think I know why. Oh yeah, that's what I left out, was the width. So click on our div block, and let's set the width to 100%. So this should fix it. Okay, there we go. All right, I was going crazy. I was like, what am I forgetting? And then here you can pretty much just change these links. So like, you know, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You get the point here. And then for like the resources, we can make this like bold. Change the font to like, let's say like 18 maybe, and then we can add like a little margin at the bottom, so like 16, and then here we can pretty much go for the links, and we can have like a class where it's just like footer link, and then we can just change the color to like let's put like what, let's see, where's the color, right here, let's just do like white. And then let's make sure you go to the section, click on the section here, change the background back to main so you can see everything. Also, let's change let's change the text block back to white too, and then we can just click on the rest of these links, and then just pretty much just say footer. Let's see, footer link, and then wait, why did it not? What happened? Should be footer link here, and then here's footer link again. So don't put it with a space, just be, I just put it with a non-space. And then pretty much you can just copy and paste it. So Command C, V, and then you can delete these since we don't have to retype it. And then you can go here and like change these here. So I'm gonna save some time. I don't want to go in like individually, but like, you get the point. And then we can do like social. And then for the links, you can also get rid of the, I forgot to get rid of the underline. So for instead we go down in terms of the, let's see, make sure I had the, let's see, yeah, decoration, click on the X here. Yeah, and then pretty much set. So then you would go in here and then, should be spelled right. You just go in here and pretty much, we can add spacing, so margins on the top, or actually let's add padding on the top and bottom of the section. So Alt, go to padding, let's do like 30, see, let's do 32. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then you can obviously add some more stuff here, but then like we check out a tablet, mobile, and then like here, we also need to change that too. So like, here this looks fine, but like for mobile, let's change the, let's go to container and just change it to vertical. And then we're pretty much set. So this is just like one way to do it, or you can just drag and drop the footer in like 5 seconds, feel free. But this pretty much is the super simple way to create a Webflow site. Then we can just go to publish here. And once that finishes, I can just go, let's refresh. Just take a look at what we just created, and then you can see here we got a simple form. And if you have the free plan, note I think you have 10 form submissions, so just note that. But again, you can upgrade it and test it out. But then pretty much like inspect, you can see here everything looks like this, and it's pretty much what we have created for today. So if you did enjoy this video, definitely go down below, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, share this video with your friends, and aside from that, comment down below if you want me to make a even more detailed website with much more animations and designs. This one's pretty basic and just like standard, but feel free to let me know in the comments below if you want me to make more videos like this with Webflow or any other design softwares. And aside from that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.